Okay, so welcome everybody. Tonight we have Jack LaForce and Jill with us from Jill Karno, there we go, from ABC Medical. And they are going to explain what their Navigator program is and how we can take advantage of that. So welcome and thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having us. We're really excited to be here. Again, my name is Jack LaForce. I am the regional sales manager for ABC Medical, and I cover the Cleveland territory. I'm actually local, born and raised near Cleveland. And what my job really is I work directly with the doctors and the nursing staff to ensure our patients are being taken care of. I also brought with me John Morris, who's also on the call, which is my manager, and Jill, who is our Navigator Program manager. And she'll get into the details on Navigator Program, but specifically ABC Medical, we are a company that specializes in supplying all brands of catheters, and as well as wound care supplies and ostomy supplies. We're extremely passionate about our patients, especially our spinal cord injury patients. We speak to these patients in this population every day. It's what we do. We love to be there just to make things easier for people who are going through a spinal cord injury. There's things that are very difficult to adjust and adapt. And that's what we're here to do, just to make things a little bit easier for them. The most important thing that we do is just address and provide real support for unique challenges that they're going through. We're very excited to be presenting our new program called Navigator today. This program specifically is in place to assist patients specifically with spinal cord injury. It's a life-changing resource we provide and we support for individuals here. And before I get too much into it, I'll pass the ball over to Jill, who is really awesome, and she's our Navigator Program manager, and she'll walk you through exactly what Navigator is and what that entails.
Hey everyone, good to see you tonight. I'm wondering, is it okay to make this a little interactive so we know who's in the room? Awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
I could do a lot of talking, but it's good for me to know who I'm talking to. So I'm wondering if you're comfortable, if you could introduce yourself and let me know a little bit about you, that would be super, super helpful.
I will start. My name is Megan. I am the president of the chapter. I sustained my spinal cord injury in 2007 from a motorcycle accident. I'm a T4 complete.
I'll go next. My name is Brian Crawford. I was paralyzed during a surgery, and I am a T11 incomplete. It's been 5 years. It'll be 5 years, a couple days before Christmas.
I'll go next. My name's Don Bellino. I had a bike injury back on June 16th of this year. I'm a T4 incomplete. Actually, right now I'm in a nursing facility and going home on Friday to start a new venture. Kind of supervised right now, helping with the family until I actually get to my condo, hopefully in the next couple weeks.
I'm Betty. I'm the mother of I don't know the right terminology, but my son is paralyzed from the waist down, and this is the 3rd year. So I come on because he won't. I want to learn.
Anyone else comfortable introducing yourself?
I'm Richard.
Yeah, I'm Greg.
I'm Richard Rathjens. It may say on your screen, Karen, but this is my wife's laptop. Let's see. I'm not sure what I am. Thank God I'm able to walk. That was about 18 months ago.
I guess I can go next. My name is Jesus. I was paralyzed back in 2005. I was 11 years old. I'm 28 now. So I've been paralyzed for almost 17 years. Is gonna be this month, October 29. I'm a C6, C7, Asia A.
And Greg, I think at some point you were starting to talk.
Yeah, I'm T5S1 incomplete. It was a slow process that happened back when I fell through a ceiling onto a concrete floor in my early 1980s. So it's
Anyone?
been quite a long time.
Yeah, yeah. Anyone else wanting to speak up? If not, that's okay. No pressure.
My name is Julie, and I'm like Greg. I was injured in 1980. So it was decades ago. I don't live in Ohio, but I became a friend of Megan's, and I just like learning. We don't have this in Milwaukee where I can hear different speakers and learn different things. So she gives me the opportunity to tap in. So here I am.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad all of you are here. Anyone else that we missed? I think we got everybody. So I'm Jill. I'm a social worker, and my role at ABC Medical, well, ABC Medical is a medical equipment supplier. My role is to try to help people find resources along the way. So anywhere in their journey with a spinal cord injury, because we know it's a long journey. It's not one day, you know? And so there's all different things that can come up along the way, all different questions that can come up along the way. And so ABC Medical has invested in this support program, which I run, which both has navigators and people who provide peer support. So people who have spinal cord injuries, who can talk about their lived experience and how they go about their normal day to help others. And so really we're here as a support. There's a lot of resources out there, but it's sometimes really hard to find them. And so that's kind of what we do. I could show you a bunch of slides, but I think that's a little silly because we're all here to try to connect. And so but you let me know what you need. If seeing slides is helpful, I'm happy to put up some slides. But some of the different things that we've helped with are, help navigating those big systems. Like Medicaid can be very challenging and very frustrating. The application process and learning about Medicaid waivers and different things that are out there. We kind of help all across the board with any questions that come up. And sometimes we end up making joint phone calls with people because sometimes it's just really hard to get through and reach the people that you need to. And sometimes everything is just really stressful. So it's helpful to have somebody on a call to help you navigate to the right person and ask those questions. Do you guys have any questions or things that you want to learn more about?
I have a question.
Okay.
You guys are a medical supply company
Yes.
in the Cleveland area?
So we serve the whole US. So
Okay,
Jack is
but-
local to Cleveland, but we serve everywhere in the US.
But you serve the Cleveland area too, right?
Yep, exactly. And Jack is our local rep. So he's here for you.
I have Medical Mutual, and they basically said that the only medical supply company I could use was Edge Park.
Okay.
So do you guys cover Medical Mutual, Medicare Advantage?
If they've only said that you can use Edge Park, that is probably the only supplier that they are contracted with. I can look into it. and see if they are contracted with us. Jack, do you know off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, we actually have about 94% coverage when it comes to insurance in the state of Ohio. As far as that specific plan, that's something that we would have to run an eligibility check for to see. But we do cover a large group of insurances. So, and if it's not, in our network, we will, first thing we'll do is we'll get you the person that is, and be able to help you. But there's a lot of different insurance companies, something we would just need to run an eligibility check. There's different plans, but, between each insurance plan. So, but we would just check it first.
Yeah, and if you want us to look into it, we can always have our team run the insurance and just check out if we are in network.
Okay, because I am looking for a different. Edge Park has been horrible with me. It's just been problems one after another. And I'm trying. I had Byram, but then I switched insurance, and Byram's out of network.
Okay.
So I'm looking for somebody new that's in network.
Yeah, definitely reach out to us after this. We can kind of put our contact information in the chat, and then we can try to reach out to you and run that insurance. And even if we're not in network, we can always look and see who else is. So if you don't want to work with Edge Park, we can kind of give you an idea of who else is in network.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Betty, did you have a question?
I just want to agree with Brian that Edge Park is the pits. If at all you can get away from them, get away. It was a horror. We had them, the state changed our insurance coverage. Now we're with J&B Medical and 180 Medical, two different providers. But that Edge Park is a nightmare. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry to hear that. It's awful because it's stuff that you need, and it's just really frustrating when it doesn't go the way that you need it to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What sort of items do you carry? Do you carry wheelchairs or just medical supplies?
So we
Or
really
both?
focus on urology supplies, so any catheters, incontinence supplies, any pads, those kinds of things, and then ostomy supplies and wound care.
Okay.
So we don't do anything with wheelchairs, but on the Navigator side, we sometimes help people navigate getting new wheelchairs or issues with companies who provide wheelchair companies, because that we know that too can be a lengthy process, and it's obviously very, very important. And so there's been times where we've helped support people in finding a provider for a wheelchair and navigating getting a wheelchair fixed, and those kinds of things, because it's so necessary and crucial. But the systems aren't always easy to navigate, and we know that.
Oh, yeah. Do you by any chance carry Mepilex for wound care?
John, do you know if we carry Mepilex?
The only reason I ask, I had a wound long time ago. And that was a product that I used very successfully, Mepilex AG with silver embedded. And every now and then I see people questioning and asking about the best for wound care. And I just say what worked for me, but I'm like, I don't even know if they make that product anymore.
And I think it looks like they still make it. Do we carry it, John?
Jill, I think it definitely is something that we can get, Julie. I think similar to the other gentleman's question earlier, if we connect offline, we can definitely get you. We actually have a WOCN on our staff as well, Amy.
Thank goodness I don't need it. I just didn't know if I should be telling people my experience and then say go try to find it and then find, oh, they don't even make it anymore. But it was a good product.
Yeah. Well, it definitely still exists.
Okay.
And if you ever, have questions or things that come up, we do, like John mentioned, we have a wound care ostomy and continence nurse on our team who specializes in wound care. And she is always really good to help us troubleshoot and know what's going to work best for somebody. And she'll also sometimes talk to people's providers to try to help them get what they need.
Do you have a branch in Milwaukee, Wisconsin?
So we do serve Wisconsin. John, do you know what our coverage is there?
Yeah, we don't have a local branch, Julie.
Okay.
There, but we do have the ability to ship there. Our headquarters is actually down in Florida. And then we have
Okay.
about 14 or 15 different satellite locations across the United States.
Well, believe it or not, when I was getting that Meplex, I had to go to Amazon because I couldn't find it. So I don't want Amazon to get all the business.
Wound care can be complex through your insurance. There's a lot of documentation needed from your doctor, a lot of measurements and staging and those kinds of things. So it is sometimes it's challenging to figure out how to get it through your insurance. And primarily
Yes.
what we do as ABC is support people getting their supplies through their insurance. Any other questions or thoughts or things that you're thinking about?
I got one more, Jill. You mentioned that you carry catheters. Do you carry condom catheters too?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Anything else that you're thinking about?
Just real quick, we do work with Medical Mutual of Ohio, so I just had that pulled up there and I just want to answer that question here a little bit.
Okay. Thank you.
For sure. Well, what makes sense for tonight? I could talk a little bit more about Navigator, but I don't know, I know this is also your group and your time to connect with one another. And so I want to honor that too. Do you want to learn more about Navigator? Do you want me to share some patient testimonials? What do you think would be helpful? Or do you just want to talk?
Go ahead and talk about Navigator.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why we're here.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to try to share my screen so that I can pull up some slides. Try to go a little bit more in depth. Oh,
So if you're not able to,
I'm not able to right now.
fix that. Okay, I just made you a co-host. You should be able to now.
Okay, let's see. Okay. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
This is kind of the agenda, but we've kind of run through a lot of this already. So really talked about what ABC is, and we're a medical supply company. We focus a lot also on supporting local events. So we do support a lot of local adaptive sports. So I think that's important to know about our history and just who we are. But this is our Navigator team. And so I'm the program manager. Lacey is a nurse who works on our team. Carolyn is incredible. She's our product expert. She would probably be able to answer all product questions in her sleep. She's pretty incredible. And then we have Jeremy and Todd who provide peer support. Jeremy is down in Atlanta, but he loves to travel. He's all over the place all the time. And then Todd is in California.
What do you mean by peer support?
So they will speak to anyone else with a spinal cord injury and just talk from their experience. So some questions sometimes people have about travel or about things that maybe I could give advice on, but I wouldn't know because I don't have the lived experience. So Jeremy and Todd talk about all sorts of things with people, dating, relationships, parenting, those kinds of things, because they've had their spinal cord injury for over 10 years and can kind of share their experience and in a way that their goal is to just try to help other people through their experience.
Thank you.
Yeah. And they usually talk to people via the phone. Every now and again, I know Jeremy does like video calls and things like that. If sometimes I think people who are learning how to transfer into their cars or want different techniques, he'll sometimes send videos to just try to explain it a little bit better, because some things you want to see, right, instead of just hear about. So yeah. Any other questions about the team? Okay. So Navigator, we both have like a website with articles, some articles on autonomic dysreflexia and different sports and on different things. And you can always fill out a support page there to get your questions to us, and we can answer questions just through email, depending on what your preference is and how you like to communicate and what's important to you. And then we also just help people over the phone. So people can call in or reach out to us any which way. So you don't have to use the website, but it is there. And there are resources on the website if you want to look. And I can put the website in the chat when I stop doing the presentation. Or Jack or John could do that for me too. So. And these are just some of the examples of things that we've helped with. So we've helped with housing. A lot of people ask about the rental assistance programs in their areas, ask about affordable housing. We've helped people navigate eviction because I think things have been really challenging, obviously, in the last couple of years. And so there's been a lot going on. And so we've seen more people face housing issues. Medicaid can be very complex, also SSI and SSDI, and even SNAP if you need food assistance. Sometimes it can be challenging to figure out how to apply and how to walk through that. I would say sometimes what I do is I try to mirror an application so I can try to walk someone through it step by step, because I know it can feel overwhelming to do applications. And so I just try to break it down and go piece by piece. And we also try to connect people with independent living centers or aging and disability resource centers that are local, because sometimes there's localized resources to people that they'll know better than us on how to navigate. A lot of people ask for transportation. I know that is a big concern and challenging to navigate. Is that challenging in your area? How is transportation in Cleveland?
It's a pretty challenging system. Yes.
Yeah.
Very challenging.
Yeah. I think every city is experiencing a ton of challenges around transportation, and there's different medical systems trying to work through that challenge. I just had the privilege of being at the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation Summit, and there was some research about transportation being one of the biggest barriers to getting to appointments, and not because anyone doesn't want to go or isn't trying, just there's a lot of different challenges in the infrastructure of transportation today. And so it was pretty interesting to hear, but I think it is across the board in every single city.
Oh yeah, it could get real difficult too, because I'm in a different county and they won't cross county lines.
I know that can be extremely frustrating because there's a lot of rules around that, but it doesn't make sense if you need to go see a doctor in a different county, and so it just makes it really, really, really hard.
We've got that same problem here in Milwaukee.
Yeah. I know there's some advocacy happening around transportation, especially in terms of accessible transportation, but we just try to find everything that we can that might help. But sometimes it's just not easy, unfortunately.
I just want to say something regarding accessible transportation.
Yeah.
I live in Houston, and thankfully our what's it called, paratransit service is pretty amazing. Like basically they come pick you up at home. It's called MetroLift, and basically they come pick you up and they take you wherever you want to go. $1.25. And also it's pretty awesome. Like I used to go to school, I used to go out to the mall, to the stores, doctor's appointments, and I guess I'm kind of thankful that I live in Houston because that transportation service here, especially for wheelchair transportation, is amazing. Because I've been to other states and used their paratransit service, and it's not as professional as safe as here in Houston. Because like in other states, they don't have the proper seat belts or the proper tie-ons for the wheelchairs. In here, like it's a trained professional. They have to tie you down correctly. They have to put the seat belts correctly. So like Houston, I think Houston probably has like the best paratransit transportation because I have no complaints about it because they come pick me up and they take you wherever you want to go. And like the longest that I've waited is like an hour for them to go pick me up after they drop me off. And the early, like it's a good service. I like it. I have no complaints about it. But yes, other states, they don't have that very good options for wheelchair transportation.
Yeah. Now that's awesome to hear that the transit is good for you. I think, that's the goal, right? I think most paratransit services want to be that level of service. It's just, I think there's a lot of challenges today finding drivers and figuring out all the logistics and all the rules around it. For sure. Some of the other things we try to help with is we try to find grants or scholarships for things that medical insurance don't cover, or if you're wanting to try a sport, sometimes there's different grants to try to get supplies for that, because we know your regular wheelchair isn't going to always work for basketball or rugby or anything that you want to do kind of for enjoyment. And so trying to figure out what is available and what's out there for people. And so we try to research those kinds of things too. And so that's kind of some of the stuff that we help with. And this is just a patient testimonial, and I'm not sure if my sound will share, but I can just share from a person's voice that we helped with a wheelchair. So I'll try to play it and hopefully it plays sound, but if it doesn't, let me know.
I was struggling with getting in the wheelchair. I couldn't get it done. It was depressing. I used to stay in the house a lot. I didn't want to go nowhere. People wanted to go bowling. I would want to do it, but then I think about the struggle of my wheelchair, and I would just stay in the house. I didn't want to go nowhere. You guys came, and within a month, like 2 weeks, she was like, "Hey, I got you set up," and I was ecstatic. Like, wow, I can now roll around freely. It just brings more joy to me because now I get to finally go outside, enjoy my life. It's really amazing.
All right. And so let me stop sharing. Hold on one second. All right. And so that was my presentation. That's just one customer testimonial that we have. Did you guys hear the audio?
Yes.
Awesome. Yep. Yeah. And I mean, we're really just here as a support, we help people when they need it. We try not to bother anyone. So there's people that want a weekly call, and then there's people who just call when they have questions or reach out by email or text when they have questions, and that's okay too. So we're really kind of driven by what each individual is wanting from us. Any questions or thoughts?
So the service is free, right?
Yeah, so the Navigator service is just part, like it's an extension of our customer service for our medical supplies. So it's free to anyone. Yeah.
So
I
it's-
don't, oh, go ahead, Betty.
So it's free to anyone who uses your supply service?
Yep,
Your supply
exactly.
Purchasing service. Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
yeah. But if you sent us a question too, if there was like a question that you had, we would still try to answer it for you. So even if you're not using us, you can send us a question. We still try to research the answer for you.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
That's really valuable because it can be overwhelming your needs.
Yes.
If something happens and you have to go in the hospital, and where do you go, you know?
Right. And it is hard. There's so many different questions that come up or different things that can come up in life. And so it's nice. We're just here to be a resource and try to point you in the right direction and try to find local resources that make sense for what you need. And so, yeah, it's definitely here if you need us.
Good to know.
Yeah. Well, we've loved getting to be here, and it was nice to get to know you all a little bit and get to hear a little bit of your stories. And yeah, if you want to reach out to us, should we put our emails here, or what makes the most sense to share our contacts?
You can put it in the chat if you want to for anybody here, and then I can include it with our email that will go out later this week as well.
Can I clarify something? So you do have someone then in the Cleveland area?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, that would be me. I'm the local rep here.
And you're John?
Jack. Yeah.
Jack. Okay.
Jack. Yeah. Close enough.
Yeah.
We're all J's. It's Jill, Jack, and John. So we really kind of kept that alliteration going.
Jack, another question. Are you any relation to Allie McForce?
Allie LaForce. Yeah, that's my sister.
No, really?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yep.
Really?
That is my sister. Yes.
And she's from this area also, then, I think.
Yep. Yeah. We're both from Vermilion. We grew up in Vermilion. I live in Strongsville now, so I'm local, not too far away. But yeah, she's on TV, and I'm in medical sales. So.
That's where I've seen her on television. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. And I'm just here really to make the paperwork process go quick through the doctor, getting insurance things pushed through and really smooth. But the really awesome part about Navigator is it's a free service. It's an extension on what we do. We're here to support anyone that has questions. Just navigating through life. It could be as silly as someone that's in this situation where, they've never been in a wheelchair before. This is, something that it could be completely just overwhelming. But, if you have any questions, you can reach out to our support staff, even if it's as simple as, hey, next week I'm going traveling for the first time. How do I cath on a plane? Or anything like that. Just little tips to make life a lot easier for you, and also just to know that you have a support system here that is a free service, that we just want you to know that we're here to help answer any questions, help navigate through life a little bit easier. and walk you through the process of getting your catheters going through insurance, or if it needs to be finding housing that is wheelchair accessible. They'll help you do whatever you need assistance doing.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, all three of you, for coming. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.